Hey there, everybody. I hope you are doing well. Taping this on 11/11. There's no way I could let today go by and not check in with you all. This is a very powerful, that portal, that master number, that portal frequency. This is a really, really powerful time for us on many levels, right? Where we are being tested and yet being given incredible opportunities to check in with ourselves, check in with our beliefs. Our metal is really being tested. Our faith is certainly being tested. As you can see, I'm just jumping right in today. I got a couple of things, so much that I want to share with you all, but we're gonna make it make sense and not jumble it up. Um, you all, we are not going back. We are not going back. And a lot of what is happening, even in the worst case scenario, it will not send us back. It's going to spur us forward. It's going to force us to really commit to the ideals and the ideology and the values that we have as humans, right? Those of us who believe in democracy. All right. So, but there's we're being pushed. We definitely are being pushed. Let me back up for a second. If you are new to my channel, I am a Fefe with Touch by Tarot and Beyond. I am a tarot and oracle reader. Been doing it for 30 something years. And I am also, my skills and everything, I've had moments with all of this happening that I've been like, wait a minute, am I who I really thought I am? I was, right? But I am, and so are you. So let's not stand away or step away from that for one moment. Another thing that Spirit, in my prayers this morning before I started taping, Spirit said, definitely, you all, let's remember unity. Let's remember our unity. I know that everyone across the board is feeling very frustrated, anxious, disappointed, angry, even at people like me, astrologers, others that you turn to on this platform to try and get clarity and guidance. And then some of what we see and the energies that we read turn out to go in some wobbly directions. That is frustrating. I only ask your patience and your grace, your patience, and continue to stick around. Give us all that opportunity to still coalesce, because at the end of the day, we all want the same thing. We want peace. We want harmony. We want our health. We want our money to be straight. We want to be able to take care of ourselves, take care of our loved ones. There's a shared goal here. So let us not give up on that. I've had so many people reach out to me in my personal life and here on the platform, and I thank you for that, because the overarching message, interspersed with all of the anger, disappointment, doubt, etc., is we are in this together. We are not going back, you all. Now, that said, a friend, and I won't put her on blast and name her on the platform, but she'll know who she is if she sees this, sent me an incredible video this morning of someone who was reminding us that, a reader, astrologer, who was reminding us that we've got this full moon in Taurus coming up on Friday, the 15th, right? November 15th. And there's some really interesting energy happening around this full moon, you all. And some are indicating that it could be some really incredible news, something that's chaotic, may feel chaotic on the surface, something that really shakes us up. And here's why. Full moon in Taurus. In tarot, those of us, if you read tarot, you're familiar with it. Tarot Taurus is represented by the Hierophant, number 5, major arcana. It is the card of government institutions. Very often we associate it just with our faith healers, master teachers, those we look to who have certain knowledge that they pass on to the masses. But in terms of, in a political context, it also can represent our political leaders and our governmental structures. Taurus is a fixed sign. It has to do with our money, our wealth, our values, what we stand on, right? What we feel like, the bull markets, all of those things. This is also happening while we've got Uranus, as I understand it, 1 degree coming within 1 degree. So super, super tight with this full moon in Taurus. So there's this idea that hold on to our seats. And as many of you have been saying in the comments to me, Fefe, hold on, wait and see what's going to happen. You know, we may have a shakeup where Kamala Harris winds up in office after all. There are also, from what I understand, calls being made to Biden, Joe Biden, to step down and resign and hand over the reins, you know, whether it's temporary or not, but hand over the reins to Kamala Harris. I am going to take a look at that today as well to see whether or not Joe Biden may in fact do that. But mainly today's reading, I want to take a solid look, just gather ourselves, take that deep breath. I want to take a really good look at Trump. And thank you all for correcting me. I stand corrected. I had so many in my last title of my last video. I said I used 47 with a like a, you know, a shocked emoji. And in the taping, I referred to him as presumably 47. And many of you, you all lit my timeline up like, not doing that, at least not right now. And I stand corrected and I stand with you on that. So I'm just going to continue to refer to him as Trump or 45. But I want to take a really good look at him between now, this full moon coming up, and January. And then I want to take a good look at Kamala Harris between now and January. I also wanted to say to you, I've been doing, you know, like many of you, I've been doing a lot of soul searching, and I've been encouraged by many of you to share more of my story so you understand where I'm coming from as a reader. So you'll see, those of you who know, I'm wearing what's called elekes. They are beads, necklaces that are given to people when you undergo ceremony in certain African traditional religions, right? The Yoruba in particular, and Santeria. I was trained in Cuba and the United States. I have deep, deep respect for the people of Cuba. And I'm bringing this up as well because my spirit guides were reminding me in terms of we're not going back. You think about the hardship that continues to be experienced by the people of Cuba. And when I was going there for training, spiritual training, I remember, you know, just the beauty of the people and the enduring faith of the people in under really horrific circumstances in terms of their ability to prosper financially, in terms of what they had access to, etc. This is no critique on Cuba. That's not where I'm going. But what Spirit said is, remember the beauty and the power of the people that was not dependent upon their governmental leaders, that was not dependent upon how much money they had in the bank or their actual day-to-day experiences. Their faith and belief and commitment to a larger whole and to a greater good stands, and it stands firm. And my heart was really moved by that, and I just wanted to share that with you all as well, because when I was talking about unity a moment ago, that's what I mean. It is, you know, let's think for a moment and go back to all of the beauty that we saw and the joy that we felt when we watched those Kamala Harris rallies, right? Harris Waltz rallies. Think about the DNC convention that we all witnessed, right? Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, Latino, women, men, young, old, wealthy, not wealthy, everyone coming together in celebration and joy and connection. We have to maintain our connection to one another during this time, and as we move forward into a future that we are going to help create, right? We're not abdicating our power. We're not abdicating our citizenship and our humanity. We will not do that. So just wanted to share that with you. There is something that I do think, not just in terms of this full moon and what may be revealed, and whether or not we're going to receive some sort of shocking revelations, Uranus, Taurus, right? Around money, around government, around what we need to know, secrets, because our sun is still in Scorpio. Scorpio will get to the bottom of some secrets, all right? So we've got a lot of interesting energy that's happening, and I thank you all for your collective encouragement to me and to one another. This is community, and I read all the comments. I love the way you all have been respectful, even as we have disagreed. I love the way, even when some of you were admonishing me about my terminology with 47, that you did so in a way I got it. You know, we got to be ready to open up, stay open to one another, and remain unified, because we are not going back. All right. All right. That said, I've got 2 decks that Spirit led me to today. Very deliberate in choosing this Light Seers deck. It's very popular. Many of you are familiar with it. Light Seers. Let's do that. We're going to stay in the light, you all. And also, I may, if I'm led, I'll dip into some Lenormand. All right. So, between now and January, I want to go ahead and get him out of the way, because I want to end on the light. All right, so Spirit, what can we expect? What will be revealed, experienced by Trump between now and January, the end of January? What will be experienced by him? What will we see around him? What will happen around him? How is he going to be impacted by the energies of the universe? We also have, they just reminded me, we also have Saturn going direct. And Saturn is the Lord of Karma. Saturn is that tough lesson teacher. Saturn is the taskmaster. But Saturn is also the Lord of Karma, right? So, Donald Trump between now and the end of January. Donald Trump between now and the end of January. I'm going to do a Celtic cross. It's a great spread. Many of you are familiar with it. It's a great spread for just a big picture. 2 of Swords at the bottom of the deck with the Ace of Cups. Because you know what? He's afraid. There's 2 of Swords is conflict. And at his own Ace of Cups, the potential to flow, the potential to feel like he's in control and in control of the flow. I'm going to actually let those come at the center, because they came at the bottom, but I'm led to them. They're going to be the center of this reading. Making sure you can see some of that. Push that off to the side. The journalist in me, if I didn't say it before, and if you're new to my channel, I used to be a newspaper reporter. So by the way, talking about, excuse me, Spirit, please give me space for a moment. Talking about the ways that we are being pushed and pulled. Hold on to your faith in the face of all of this madness. You know, again, personally. So here I am undergoing spiritual initiation in traditions that some would, coming out of a Christian church, by the way, you know, many years, but giving myself license and fulfilling a call to my own soul to pursue that spirituality at the same time that I'm a newspaper journalist, right? So I'm all about the facts. I'm all about, you know, finding things out. I was walking with a foot in both worlds, the world of what was possible and spiritual, you know, spiritual beliefs and evolution, and at the same time dealing with what is. So that's something I think we are all dealing with on some level. Don't minimize that, and give yourself grace around that, okay? All right. Donald Trump. The base, what he's standing on, 8 of Pentacles, the potential that he thinks he has, or is feeling like he has, to continue to run the table. 5 of Cups in the most recent past. He was afraid of losing. He really was afraid of losing. And he felt, why not? At the beginning, at the top of the table, I've got the King of Swords. That's him, Gemini. Near future. Death. Scorpio ruled, and it came reversed. Let me keep going, and then we'll put it all together. But Spirit is speaking. Eight of Swords, where he is, and it is reversed. I don't always read reversals, but I'm being led to in this table. Around him is the sun. Everybody jumping around. We got this. Woohoo. Thumping their chests. All of that. Six of Cups. Hopes and fears reversed. That's the larger populace. And the Three of Pentacles as the outcome. I'm going to cross that or clarify it. The Four of Pentacles. Spirit is like, I said what I said. I will say this. I'm not seeing anything very victorious around him. And he is being haunted. The Eight of Swords came for him reversed. Many people read reversals in different ways. In this particular instance, I'm seeing this as his internal. When a card is upright, it's what's happening in, around you, what you can see. Very often when it's reversed, it can be what is happening internally or behind the scenes. You don't see it manifest yet. Now, I want to also clarify this death. Four of Wands reversed. There may be something that happens that mitigates his ability to continue to say, I did it. Because both of these cards, this is in the near future position, and both of these cards came reversed. This is energy that is developing, evolving. There is an ending of his celebration. Four of Wands is a card of commitment, celebration. In other readings, it'll come up a lot when you're dealing with marriage, when you're dealing with homes, when you're dealing with the foundations of your life and things that you commit to, right? That's very, very often. And it is a very celebratory card, but it comes with death. Is this the end of a celebration? Is that the end of a celebration? I want to cross him. King of Swords. Nine of Cups. So this is in his present moment, what he wants to happen. And what he feels like he's... And the Ten of Cups. So at the present, at the top of this, so this is the energy that's hovering over him, right? He is all about himself, always going to be the narcissist that he is, and he wants to be loved. He is basking in, thank you, Spirit. Far from dealing with the reality of actually having to govern or attempt to govern, we already know. The United States as a leader of this country, it is truly all about him, and he is basking in the Ten of Cups is love and adoration and the family, and this is also, from what I understand, I was doing some reading. There are Mar-a-Lago, like you can't, West Palm Beach, you can't even get a hotel there right now, and the Airbnbs are sold out because you've got people, business leaders, etc., coming from all around the country right now trying to get in his ear before January. So he is basking in all of that. I read where people are, Mar-a-Lago is a membership, right? See, everybody just can't walk up in there. And I understand there are people who are contacting members, don't really even know them, but offering them something under the table to get an invite just to get on the premises. And then they are lining up. He has his own separate table at a patio where he holds court. And they are lining up just to catch sight of him, just to try and get in his ear for a moment. That's what he's doing right now. He's basking in all of this flood of, we always had your back, we love you. I want to see too, though, the base of this reading, the Eight of Pentacles, the root, the foundation of where he's going to be standing between now and January. The Six of Pentacles and Judgment. Some of these promises that he's made are already going to start to get challenged, you all. For instance, from what I understand, he said on day one, if he makes it there, that on day one he's going to start this deportation, this mass deportation movement, right? He's hired or reappointed. What's his name? Homan, I think. Forgive me if I got that wrong, but whoever was his border czar before, he's bringing him back on. That's money. That's extremely expensive. That's billions of dollars for someone who has promised the country and promised the people, the working class people, who unfortunately many of them were swayed. The fix and Starlink aside, there were people who actually cast their vote that way, in ways themselves without realizing it. I think that's why judgment is coming, you all. And Pluto, we have Pluto in Aquarius coming up starting on the 19th, right? So there's this beginning of an awakening around what is the real cost of this. And for those that he's putting in positions, making these appointments, he's already putting the screws to the Senate to say, we don't have time for I'm not going to sit around and wait for all your confirmations. I'm going to put the names out and I need them approved. Stat, right? Nothing surprising there. But there's an indication here that people are scrambling. The people who do understand the markets, the people who do understand how government works in terms of keeping it functioning and keeping the country functioning, it's going to be hitting, and it's going to be hitting hard. Now, around him is the sun. Remember we had that Eight of Swords reversed, right? So he's afraid. He really is. It's not that he's bitten off more than he can chew any more than he felt that way after 2016, when no political experience wound up with the highest office in the land, right? He's bringing people around him who he's trusting to make his vision work. The idea is the more that they have loyalty to him, then they will utilize their skills and talents. Where was my Eight of Pentacles at the bottom? Skills and talents. Mastering the mastery of skills and talents. He's bringing them together to try and, hey, this is what I said we were going to do. This is what we all agreed to do. You all got to figure out where the money's going to come from and how to make it happen. That's the sun. The Six of Cups reversed. Hopes and fears. The Emperor. Why not? Inside, this is a very small person who has continued to garner unimaginable support because of their own interests. It's never been about him. And on some deep level, he knows that. On some deep level, he knows that at 78, going on next year, 79 years old, his time is whatever his time is. And he's almost... Six of Cups can be a card of nostalgia. It can be a card of where you see things from the past. And he's looking at himself as that guy who was hot to trot in 70s, 80s, etc. That Trump. That's part of what, and it's hopes and fears that this came out in. So there's a part of his delusional thinking that this is confirmation that he is still that guy. He was always that guy. He was always going to be that guy. But there's also a part of him that is realizing that he's diminished and he can't do what he promised. And that's why I think the outcome here was the Three of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles. He can't produce it. He can't produce what he promised. Just like to build a wall, and the wall didn't get built. He can't produce what he promised. And that's, I know that's looking forward, and this reading is between now and January, but this feels like Spirit is saying, you all, I want to look at the Leanerman for him too, and then we'll move on to Kamala Harris. Spirit is saying he's already, or those who are around him are already realizing, all right, now we talked all this smack, we got all these people on board with this. Where's the money going to come from? Right? How are we, if we start this mass deportation where that in and of itself is billions of dollars to just implement that, rounding people up, figuring out how to process them, where are they going, how are you going to send them there? There are all these other, all these other factors that have to be taken into place. And how do you actually do that? And economically, for those that you said, there's going to be all this prosperity, I'm going to look out for you, I'm going to make sure that your taxes are lowered, blah blah blah. How you've removed a part of the workforce. Are they going to want to come in and do the gardening and the landscaping and a lot of the service oriented jobs that those who are in the country just trying to work at minimum or less than minimum wage? Is that really what you promised people? That's what's happening. All right. I want to look at him from the Leanerman perspective, and then we're going to move on to Kamala Harris. Yeah, reality is setting in. It's as if the fight to achieve it was one thing, and now the reality of being faced with delivering on the promise, how to pull this off. Yeah, that's a whole different thing. All right. Donald Trump. Between now and January. The crossroads, and feeling the burden. Because he promised too much, he overpromised, and he can't deliver. The bear, he's feeling protected. He's really becoming extremely reliant on the people around him, the Elon Musks, etc., etc., etc. And they see that. They've already targeted his weakness. The House, the establishment, the White House that he has his eyes on, but also his business interests. He wants his business interests protected. And that's one reason why the oligarchs are hovering, because they want their business interests protected, and he's going to be looking to them to help keep his house in order. And the anchor, there it is, tying it all in. Between now and January, what Spirit is showing us, you all, through the Leanerman, is his weakness is he knows his weakness. He'll never admit it, but he knows his weakness, and he's appealing to the people he sees as strong. But the source of their strength is their money. Certainly not their character. Certainly not their genuine connection with or protection around him. But he's trying to build, I just heard Spirit say he's trying to build his own wall. His personal wall, to establish himself. So that's going to be what he's up to in between now and January. He's moving ahead to try and establish the people around him. He recognizes he's dealing with a lot of fear, you all. I think that is a part of the beginning of the chaos, that he lied. He cannot do what he promised he was going to do. And the people around him, how much more of their own money, reputations, and business success are they willing to put at stake? All right. Now, I did not ask if he's actually going to be installed. And they keep telling me installed instead of sworn in. From the beginning, since this all happened, I've been hearing installed. Now I want to look at Kamala Harris. Definitely gonna cleanse the deck first. Somebody's gonna ask, it's sweet rose spray. All right. So Spirit, Kamala Harris, between now and January, the end of January 2025. Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris between now and the end of January. Kamala Harris between now and the end of January. I know how those flipped. Kamala Harris between now and the end of January. Bottom of the deck, Queen of Wands. That ain't negative, and that ain't defeated, and that ain't, And the Wheel of Fortune, ruled by Jupiter, it does come reversed. Let me keep going. I want to start going in already. Let me keep going. The base of the reading is the moon. I feel like that's timely too in terms of the full moon on Friday. To the rear, to the recent past, the strength, it does come reversed. Strength card comes reversed. Above her, 8 of Cups, of course. I would have been surprised if we didn't get that card. It being a card of moving on, withdrawal, feeling a sense of withdrawal, feeling a sense of having to move on. Now she does get the 2 of Swords in the near future. We'll go deeper on that. These two came together. Whoa, the Magician and the Chariot, her at this time in this moment. The Magician and the Chariot, both reversed. Around her, 5 of Wands. Hopes and Fears, the World, reversed. Outcome, 4 of Cups. Clarified by the Ace of Pentacles. Okay. Some of you may not like this, but I have to call it like I see it, all right? I'm not sure that what I'm looking at here, and I'll show you the cards, and we'll go through this together. But I'm not sure that what I'm seeing is some tremendous reversal of what has happened. But I do see her. I think Spirit is saying she is, between now and January, she's a fighter. Recognizing that the first energy I see around her is the Queen of Wands. Now we know that she's a Libra, an air sign. But someone, I think, said she has a moon rising or a rising sign. She's got fire in her belly, for sure. Just in her demeanor, we've seen her, we know her work, we know what her fabric, so she's looking at, with that Wheel of Fortune, she's looking at and studying and really deciding for herself what her next move needs to be outside of or in addition to this political process that continues to unfold. Now, she's standing on, the root of her reading is the moon. I want to clarify her around that. On its face, it feels like she feels deceived in some way. She feels deceived. Or that things came to light. She, like many of us, has been rocked by the idea that people would, fixing the voting machines aside, that people would not have understood her message and her authenticity and her ability to get the job done. There's that, she's gone through a deep, whoa. Imagine for all of us as citizens and as disappointed as we are, as angry as we are, imagine doing what she had to do over that 100 days, 100 plus days, and doing it superbly, right? Doing it superbly, and then having, and then being here now in this situation. The Emperor. She knows within every fiber of her being, you all, that she should have been it. That she has everything that it takes. The Emperor is ruled by Aries, a fiery energy. The first energy that comes up around Kamala Harris in this reading, remember, is the Queen of Wands, fiery energy. She knows that it's almost as if there's a little bit of what could I have done differently. How was my vision of who I am as a leader? How did that not completely come to light? How did that not completely get conveyed? There's a little bit of not regret in any way, but there's just, she is truly going through a it's like she prosecuted her most important and powerful case in front of the American public, because she's a prosecutor, right? She built her life, her career on prosecuting cases and being able to lay things out and make it convincing and help people understand. And that incredible groundswell of support that she saw. We talked earlier and mentioned Spirit said to remind us of what those campaign rallies looked like and felt like, what the convention looked and felt like. And so she's sort of going through a lot of that as well. And she's still dreaming of what her future could be or will be as a leader. This is not stopped that in her. And it won't between now and January. She's focused on family. When I look at above her, like what's really hanging around above her, remember we got that Eight of Cups reversed. So there's a part of her that is, because, and it makes sense because when I clarify it, I got the 10 of Pentacles. This is, she's really relying on, between now and January, she is going to be so attached to and engulfed by her family, by everything that brings her support, that brings her a sense of solidness, stability. We believe in you. We know who you are, even if the public was misled, or a large swath of the public was misled and didn't get it. We know who you are. And that's what's going to help ground her back into this energy. Her seeing herself and knowing that her future is still ahead of her. We have the the Two of Swords and the Lovers. Choices that she's having to make. Let me show those to you. Choices that, this is near future. Choices that she's having to make. She's gonna really fight with the King of Pentacles. I think that's Doug, her husband. And the Seven of Cups, choices, yeah. So between now and January, she's facing a lot of choices that she's going to make with her family, with the help of those who are around her, who are solid around her, that 10 of Pentacles we saw. And this is her partnership too. I think that is genuinely with the Lovers. This is her partnership with Doug Emhoff, her husband. They're going to have a lot of conversations. She really values his she values his opinions. She values his perspective. She needs him and relies on him very much as her soulmate and her partner at this time. But it's up in the air around, where do I go from here? Now, her, when I'm looking at her, she's got, these both came reversed, but she has the Magician and the Chariot. She's a fighter, and she's going to keep moving forward in her political career, one way or another. Around her is this Five of Wands. She's getting a lot of pressure, you all. As much as we are in this conversation, we're saying fight it, keep going, Don't give up. There's more to it. We know it was, the fix was in, blah, blah, blah. So she's definitely taking all of that into consideration. But on the hopes and fears is the world. She really is. She meant every bit of what she said. She's very afraid of what lies ahead of us under that other person's potential administration. She's very afraid of that. She sees that it could genuinely impact the way that we function as a global entity, the way America functions as a global entity. Am I getting that right, Spirit? Is that what the world hopes and fears for Kamala Harris? Knight of Wands, yeah. How we interact with the world, how we are able to continue to. Oh, and she's very concerned about women and concerned about those who supported her, staying engaged. Two of Cups. I knew it. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. She's concerned about us. With everything else she's got going on, she's concerned about us. She's really concerned about our ability to continue to love this country, to continue to fight for it, to continue to fight for democracy. She's very, very concerned about that. And at the end of the day, the decision about how she moves forward, I had the Ace of Pentacles reversed and the Four of Cups upright. This is regrouping. Between now and January, she's looking to regroup. She's looking to decide for herself, like the resolve that she will have to decide what her next moves will be, what they need to be. And she will not, unlike that other person, she will not, this is an energy here we see that she's not making these moves, or she will not make these moves from a selfish perspective. When she said from day one, her job from day one was always for the people, that is still very much a part of her consciousness between now and January. Now, what I still have not seen, you all, is some sort of incredible turn of events that installs. Keep saying install. I just gotta say it because that's how the spirits are giving it to me. I'm gonna look at her through the Lenormand as well. Okay. Kamala Harris between now and January, the end of January. Kamala Harris between now and the end of January. Kamala Harris between now and the end of January. Writer. Now that looks good. First changes coming in. The writer brings in news, brings in momentum. Remember, she did have the Chariot and the Magician. They were reversed, so it's not immediate. It's not like happening as we speak, but it's in the works. Like, where do I go from here? There's news. Public. The Moon comes for her again. Clover. Luck. The Lily, Wisdom. And the Fox, being smart. Also deception and trickery. Could be deception and trickery. Now, I'm kind of into this Lenormand aspect of it, you all, because the guard. Okay, we saw the writer, news coming in. We see the garden, which is the public forum, the global situation. What's happening on the global front, and also what's happening here. We've got the Moon, which is light being shed on it. What's done in the dark comes to light. We've got the Clover, which is luck, with the Lily, which is wisdom. People using their wisdom. The universe revealing its wisdom. And then there's the Fox, which can be deception and strategy, though. It can also be strategy. The wisdom, her wisdom in executing a strategy. This ain't over, you all. And you know, in the House, the White House, the America's House, I will tell you, I think all taken together, I think what we're seeing is, I've got to be honest always with you all. And if I'm proven wrong, I won't be mad. And I hope you won't be mad at me. There's, I do not see some drastic change of the outcome of the election by January. However, I do see, especially with this Lieberman spread for Kamala Harris, she's not done yet. She's not done yet. And to the extent that this is reminding me as well of the coalition of Democratic attorneys generals around the country who have already started to coalesce, the governors, the Democratic governors that have already started to coalesce, those certain swaths of the country that remain steadfastly blue are going to coalesce, and her voice, her leadership, her know-how and expertise is definitely going to be a part of that. All right. Whew, it feels good. It feels hopeful. It's not a quick boom, change in the result kind of thing that I certainly was maybe thinking we might see, but this is not over. And so again, I thank those of you who have commented on the last video I did that said, hey, this ain't over. It's not, you all, and we're not going back. Don't have a blueprint for how we're moving forward, but the energy around her, she's going through this process definitely right now of regrouping and disappointment and having to decide for herself and step back and rely on those that she knows are really in her corner, like her husband, her family. But then we have far from seen the last of Kamala Harris on our political leadership front. All right? That's how I'm going to leave it today. And I'll talk to you all real soon. Stay safe out there. Continue to breathe and stay unified. Remember, we're stronger together. All right? I'll talk to you soon. Bye.